Hello and welcome back to Just Ask Mrs. Hurlbut. This is episode 9, believe it or not, and our topic today is do not expect people to change. That was a mouthful, so I had to have a little help with it. But the reason why I chose that topic and not just change is change for the sake of change is can be okay, like change of scenery, change of seasons, change of attitude. That's not what this is about. This is about not expecting people to change for With me today is a very, very special guest, my husband, the OG, Mr. Hurlbut. Welcome, Phil.
Well, thank you for finally having me.
It took us a bit to get Phil to join us, not because he didn't want to. I just don't know if I was ready for him to be here. But he's here. And I picked this topic because I think it fits us well. And I think hopefully you can relate to some of the questions that you're asking, or at least I can. So let's get started. Phil's going to ask me some questions about change. Hit it.
All right. The first question we have. What if I love everything about my girlfriend except one thing?
What if you love everything about your girlfriend except one thing? Well, it all depends on what that one thing is. Some one things are deal breakers, and other one things are just inconveniences or annoyances or idiosyncrasies that can and really should be embraced and accepted. So a really big thing would be total neglect or infidelity or jealousy, like we talked about last time. So those could be some big ones. I always tell my students the 3 big things that you really can't have any control over, that you'd have to get help, is if there's control or abuse, or if there's addiction, or if there's mental health issues. Those are one things that can easily be deal breakers if they're not addressed with the kind of help that you need. But annoyances or little things. I'm going to bring up an example with you. When I was dating you, what did I learn very quickly? That you loved golf, that it was your whole life until you met me. Still do, yes, still very much his passion. I was driving with my mother to visit my sister, and we've been dating for 4 years, and I was now home from college, and I was watching your lifestyle and realizing there wasn't a lot of space for me in that lifestyle. And I said to my mom, "Oh, it just annoys me so much that he plays so much golf. It's such an important thing to him." And my mother said to me, "Well, if this is the guy you're going to marry, that's never going to go away. Don't ever try to change that about him. That's what makes him him. That's what makes him happy. If you expect that to go away when you get married, you're going to be sadly mistaken." And she was absolutely right. It was the best advice I think she's ever given me, because I went into our relationship from that point on saying, okay, can I live with this? Can I manage my life and make room for this if it means I get to have him in my life? And that's what I did. Had I not listened to her, or she had not given me that advice, I would have entered into our marriage with completely unrealistic expectations that you would change. Has it been a compromise? Absolutely. Has it oftentimes been very annoying? Yes, absolutely. But was it worth making room for in my life? Also, absolutely. So it really depends on what that one thing is. If it's detrimental to your relationship, you might want to think about jumping ship, or at the very least addressing it. But if it's something that makes that person uniquely them, you might want to stop and say, I might need to make room for this, because I cannot ever change that about him or her.
This next question kind of feeds in. Next question is, shouldn't someone be able to change for you if they really love you?
If you really love them, why would you want them to change? You fall in love with a person, the whole person. You don't say, you're not supposed to anyway, say, okay, this person's really cute. Now I'm going to mold them into the person I want them to be. That's not how it works. So if you really love somebody and they really love you, you accept each other with all your perfections and with all your flaws. And if you don't like the flaws, then don't continue that relationship. The problem is many people don't continue that relationship and then start another one and then start another one. It's one relationship after the other where they're like, nope, not good enough, can't change it, don't want to change it. And they think, well, then I'm never going to find my person. And that is not true. You have to be much more open-minded to the whole person and decide whether or not the flaws or the annoyances you could adapt for, you could make room for. Many people end relationships for the wrong reasons because they want to change that person, some minor issue that just drives them crazy. First of all, you shouldn't change that. Secondly, you shouldn't want to change that. That's not a big deal. A lot of people believe that it's a big enough deal that the relationship ends. I test my students with that all the time. I go, so where's the line? Here's the line. At what point is that something that really can damage a relationship? And when is it just about you and your patience or your attitude about something? So really ask yourself, is this worth fighting for? Is this me or is this that person? Because you can't change the person. You can't, you shouldn't, don't do it.
All right, next. Can I assume that my boyfriend, and I think I'll add girlfriend, be more attentive once we are married?
Oh, if you could only have seen the way you just read that to me. Is it wrong to assume? What was the first part?
Can I assume that my boyfriend or girlfriend will be more attentive once we are married?
I hear that all the time. No, you should never assume that. You should never assume that they're going to change just because now there's somebody put a ring on it. You have to ask yourself long before that, can I live with this because this is who this person is? So attentive, if you're willing to have a conversation about it, again, long before you make that commitment, and say, you know, it would be really nice if I saw you more. It'd be really nice if you noticed what I was wearing, or you thanked me for the dinner I served, whatever it might be. That could possibly yield a change in attitude because the person that you love is listening to you. But you can't assume anything. Glad you're here because you said this to me when we first got married. I was wanting things like that, and you would say to me, Cammie, let me say this to you loud and clear. I cannot read your mind. I will never be able to read your mind. So please don't presume that you're talking telepathically to me to do something. If you don't ask me or tell me to do something, I'm probably not going to do it because I don't think like that. And of course, it was 30 years later that I realized our love languages couldn't be more opposite, and that makes so much sense. So, yeah, if you talk about it and you express those kinds of desires early in the relationship, then there could be a change of attitude. But you can't presume that's going to happen or assume that someone's going to change for you. If it's a small thing, that's a change of attitude, you could actually articulate that with each other.
All right, this next question kind of ties in really to what you're leading to there. Can people change their personality, or am I just wasting my time hoping they will?
Are you wasting your time? Ultimately, people's personalities are their personalities. Are you wasting your time? Again, don't try to change somebody you love. Don't try to change somebody you love. That's why you love them. However, what happens, which is a beautiful thing that I've witnessed in our marriage, is that because my mom told me to never bother trying to change you, don't waste your time, because I did that, and I think you did that for me, we ended up growing together. So like your personality, I would consider when I first met you, you were shy and introverted. I think you still have that in you, but you have the gift of gab, and you love to be around people. You love your community, your friends, your family. You love to host. I think that that's something that happened with us together. We grew together. So I think I might have grown to a place where I've settled down. I'm not as hyper. And you've grown into a place where sometimes you're the more social one. You're the one who loves to stay out later.
Say too often.
But the point is that because we did not expect to change each other, we evolved and grew together. It's a beautiful thing to watch a relationship grow when there's no expectation for change, because you tend to want to do what the other person desires simply by virtue of the fact that you love them and you're committed to them. So, is it a waste of your time? No. Don't go into a long-term relationship thinking you can change somebody. But if you back off a little bit and allow them to be who they authentically are, and they do the same for you, you end up growing and evolving to be the best versions of yourself. And that's where you have success, and that's where you have change, but it's more growth than forcing someone to do something that's not naturally who they are.
And our final question on this topic is, how do I stop trying to fix people when I know I shouldn't want to change them?
Well, fixing people and changing people are not necessarily one and the same. But you can't really do either. You can't fix people. You can't change people. You can offer to help people. You can assist people. But you wouldn't want to fix. If you're in a relationship, a loving, committed relationship, and one of the persons comes into that relationship damaged in some way, you have to accept that as part of who they are, whether it's childhood trauma or whatever it might be. You have to accept that that's a reality of the relationship that's going to enter it, but you can't be the person to fix that. You can offer tools, you can consider therapy, but you cannot be held responsible to fix somebody. A lot of people date with the intention of, oh, I fell in love with this person because he or she has been so damaged by previous relationships, and I'm going to be the hero that swoops in and fixes that. But that should not be the reason that you're attracted to that person, that you're dating that person, and that you're building a relationship with that person. Because that person has to own whatever's going on and has to find a way to fix it. You can't be the fixer. It's the same as trying to change somebody. You have to accept the person with all their flaws. You can guide them. You can, hope I didn't turn that off. You can guide them. You can encourage them. You can support them, but you can't fix them.
How about outside of just a romantic or a one-on-one relationship? How about just a friend compared to a romantic relationship?
Yeah, I've seen that a lot in high school. Lots of friendship drama. Boy, I hear that nonstop. And the irony is, by the time the kids come to me when they're seniors, suddenly they have their light bulb moment, their aha moment where they're like, oh my gosh, I've been doing it all wrong all these years. And they suddenly find these lifelong friends, spring semester of their senior year. When you're in a friendship, or especially in a group of friends, and most specifically, the girls tend to be this way, but I've seen it with the guys too. Everybody's trying to live up to a certain expectation. Everybody's trying to fix each other's problems instead of just embracing them and welcoming them and loving them for who they are. And then what ends up happening is all these false personas start to rear their ugly heads, and nobody is their authentic self. A lot of people think that, or they're drawn to people, whether it's friendships or romantic, they're drawn to people who they think need fixing. They think need you, like that's your purpose as their friend, to be the sounding board, to be the shoulder to cry on, and then oftentimes that person gets taken advantage of. So it's tricky. You got to be careful if you're in a relationship, friendship or otherwise, with somebody who you think needs fixing. If you take on that role to be the fixer, it ends up being a one-way relationship, which we did a whole episode on, right? This one-sided relationship where you end up really being taken for granted or taken advantage of, and then there's this huge miscommunication because once you've served your purpose, that person might move on. So whether it's dating or friendship, be careful. Yes, be compassionate. Yes, be a loving friend. Yes, be a supportive girlfriend or boyfriend or spouse. Yes to all that. But you can't change the person. You can't fix the person. Don't try. Know that fine line that separates being a loving, supportive person in their life and being the doctor or the person who's going to make it all better. That, yes, sometimes you can, but that is not your role. Hope that was clear.
I think it was very clear.
Well, thank you, Phil. I appreciate you being here. I hope that was painless.
It was very painless. Nice watching you work.
Well, thank you for being here. And thank you all for being here. Please don't forget to leave comments, ask questions, email me, whatever you want, because you are part of this. And without you, I don't have any material. So keep the questions coming. I really appreciate it. Don't try to change anybody. If you come into a relationship with that knowledge, you end up growing together, which is super exciting and super fulfilling and brings you nothing but joy. So I'll see you soon.